Good morning. Today is the 14th of February 2024 and happy Valentine's Day. So today I'm going to go through my trading plan. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible and hopefully have a decent green day again. So on my screen we're looking at today's economic calendar. We've had a bit of news at 8:30 which didn't do too much. I just want to draw your attention to 9:30. We've got Fed speaking right on the open. Other than a bit of oil news, we haven't really got anything else apart from the Fed speaking today at 9:30. So that's just one thing to be wary of. So on my screen we have the ES 1 hour time frame, which is the S&P 500 index futures. I trade the MES mainly, or I really only trade the MES. So I'm looking at the MES chart, but it's exactly the same as the ES chart. Got some basic levels and zoom out and we can look at the trend line as well. So we've got this trend line going all the way back to October 2023, end of October, and you can see we're kind of tagging the trend line. Let's just open up my pen. In case you're wondering, I use a pen called Epic pen, which is pretty decent. And lets you write on the screen. Hopefully if it loads. So let's get into the levels while I'm waiting for that to load. Not sure why it's taking so long. Let's try again. So what I'm watching for today is just start with the daily, so we work our way backwards. You can see we're still in this upward daily trend still. We've yet to break through that trend line, and we've kind of been trailing this trend line up. Once we break the structure of this trend line, then we can be getting more serious and looking for shorts. But most of my watches today are long watches on pullbacks or continuation trends. I've got a couple of I've got one rejection area as well. Notice in the last few days we talked about reducing volume, and while the price was increasing. And then finally we had this big volume candle on a big red day, and said that was going to happen at some point. It was just a matter of not when it's going to happen, not if it happens, but more when it's going to happen. We broke down off of that top and tail candle. Not much volume on that candle as well. It doesn't really show ending volume. You know, this shows lots of volume here, potential ending volume, but we haven't seen any real ending volume to this trend going up yet. So nothing to get too excited about, I don't think, just yet. So back into the hourly, and this is that trend line we saw in the daily, which we're riding. So I'll start off with the 5,000 level. We came into the pre-market and we rejected it. That happens to be the pre-market high as well. And I'm not looking to take a second rejection, a double top on that. That's too high risk. But what I'm looking for is a break, a retest, and continuation. So 5,000 is the key area. I don't know what we've got. Here we've got orders sitting at 5,000, limit orders, so potentially we may see a bit of resistance around there. And but that's one of the levels. That's my first level I'm watching for today. If we see continued buy-in, I've got a potential target of 50.20, and that happens to be where the pre-market low was yesterday before we saw the CPI candle and the sell-off yesterday. What was that, the CPI candle? No, it's definitely there. So so kind of watching for this kind of gap fill, and it's an area of confidence as well. Tops of candles, bottoms of candles, and then we kind of just bounced on it a few times before we took the big move down. So we had a big reaction at that point yesterday. So I want, if we come back up to that area, hopefully there'll be another big reaction, and I want to go short. So 50.20 is a short level. And obviously if we break through, we've got this upper trend line, which is based on these pivots here. We've not retested that yet, so we could watch 50.40 for rejection as well. And potentially we can also keep an eye on this area here. It's like got a bit of volume coming in over there, but we got a big reaction when we last came into that area, and that's around the 50.50 area, 50.40 through to 50.50. So they're the rejection areas, but I'm mainly only watching 50.20 because that is the start of that big reaction we had yesterday. As for bounces, obviously we talked about the break and retest of the pre-market high, but bearing in mind we do have this downward trailing 50 moving average, so we want to be a bit wary. You could use that as a first target. But my next bounce area, a little bit high risk because we're close to where we are, but we've got 49.70 to 49.75. Area of confidence as well, tops of candles, tops of candles, tops of candles, and then we broke through. We came down, we kind of sat between it, retested it yesterday in the post market or near the end of the day yesterday, what's that, 6 o'clock, and then we broke through it today. So if we come back down to that area, if we pull back down to this area, I'm looking for a bounce. Also as a bounce off this trend line, but this trend line is more of a zone, so it can be, so the zone we're looking for, it could be anywhere. This could be the zone, so kind of that's the area we're looking for a potential bounce. Next bounce area is this demand zone. We've got this demand zone just here. We came into it yesterday, we literally touched the demand zone, big reaction, 49.40 through to 49.30. I'm watching for a bounce, so I'm kind of watching this pivot here and this pivot here. So these are the two areas I'll be interested in. There again, if we get through to that point, but potentially down here as well. And that's it. Obviously, if we have prolonged selling, we've got some other levels further down. I'll just scroll out so you can see the levels. I want to make note of them. You can watch this area as well. This is an area of confluence and an area of demand. And the reason for that is we had, once we got down there, we had a couple of big reactions back up to the top, and we've only been going up since. So that's basically my plan for today. I'll just recap it one more time and I'll sum it up. So I'm looking for a rejection at 50.20, looking for a break and retest long of 5,000, looking for a pullback and a bounce off of this trend line area, but this area 49.75, area of confidence. We've got tops of candles and you could say bottoms of candles, but we had a big reaction at that point last time, came through, pulled back, couldn't hold it and fell below. I'm also watching for a bounce at 49.55. Not the best area, that's just a possible area for a short, then you can obviously use that as a target, but I'm really waiting for it to get back into this area of demand and look for a bounce at 49.40, 49.30 area. Okay, that's it for MES. We'll come back to that just before I finish the video, see if there's anything changed in the last few minutes. SPY, very similar areas, watching for this area of confluence there, tops and bottoms of candles. So 498.70 to 499 for rejection. 500 is a key number. We didn't really hold it very well, but we kind of, when we pulled back to it, we held. We broke through it easy enough, but we kind of held it till we saw that big data drop yesterday. So watch 5,000 for rejection, and I'll go to SPX mix. I've got a level on SPX I want to watch as well. Bounce wise, area of confidence here. So I'm watching 494 area for a bounce, maybe down to 493, and then I quite like the area, this area here, 490 and 488 for another bounce. So on the subject of SPX, 5,000 is a key number. I'm watching this, and just happens to be an area of confidence there, tops of candles, bottoms of candles there, and it broke out. So if the market moves with a strong move, it comes back into that area. I won't take it on SPX, but I will be looking for an ES or MES short, but I'll be looking for confirmation both here and on the MES. So I've got my alert set for 5,000 just over. I'll be keeping an eye on. I've got a separate thumbnail which I'll keep an eye on anyway. Q's next. Q's I kind of like, is a bit higher risk. I kind of like 430 for a bounce, and it's got tops of candles and then came down and retested it again. and then we came back up here. We couldn't break it, came back down, and finally we broke down. I think we could watch it for a bounce. Let's get rid of these trend lines. We've got this trend line, it's a bit confusing now. As for rejections, kind of watching 433 area for rejection. Tops of candles, bottoms of candles, this kind of area. 432.70, 432.60 area for rejection. And obviously we can watch for the break and retest of today's pre-market high, which is around 432 long. Another area of rejection, there's not much here really. I think if we don't reject, then we'll probably be putting in another run to the top or near the top. Volume wise, volume sitting around this area here at 428, so if we come back down we'll be looking for a bounce off of that area. We've got the rise in 200 moving average as well, and so looking for that doubles up as 2 reasons to take it. And obviously we've got this area of this area, tops of candles there, and we kind of hovering around that area. So this is a big area to watch, 428 for a bounce. And then zooming out, if we can get down to 416, that's a potential bounce area. I've got 423 as well. So, but we've got to get down there. So we're not anywhere near there, so I'm not going to focus on them. NQ, very similar. We're right in this area of confidence right now. You can see we've got, oh, wrong one. We've got tops of candles there, bottoms of candles here. We retested it there, so it's the tops of candles, retesting it here, tops of candles. So it's quite a significant area. We could probably look for a rejection down, or a break and retest long if we can get above it. So break and retest long. If we come up into yesterday's area for the sell-off, this kind of gap fill area, look for rejection around 17,950 and 18,000 psychological number. But we've definitely broken down through. Let's just move this trend line. Here we go. If you put the trend line there, we've broken the upward trend on the hourly. So we're kind of looking up here for a retest short. Oil. This is a daily chart. Put in a low, higher low, higher low. We're still waiting. We talked about this yesterday. Are we going to break, come back down? This could be a potential buy area at 78 for a swing or long term. Coming into a double top on the day as well, so it's going to the hourly. And looking very toppy as well. It's a potential reject area right now. So we can watch this area 78 through to 78.50 for reject. We've got this poke through, but the main area, if we were to build another demand zone, will be another supply zone, should I say, will be this area here. We've already touched it and rejected it twice, so I don't like it a third time, so confirmation. So let's draw in the trend line. If you put in that area there, like I said, it's just an area. If we break down below, we can wait for the retest of 78 and look for a short. Or if we break over this area, 78, 50, 79, we can look for the break and retest for the long. But slow moving. Let's look at the daily again. Yeah, we just need to get over that pivot and then to start the new, confirm the daily uptrend. Gold. Didn't have a very good day yesterday. Let's look at the daily first. So broke through two areas, broke that area, broke this area, and the only place I can watch for a bounce it will be at 1978, or if it pulls back up into this area we can look for a rejection around yesterday's, what's that, around 20, 28, 20, 30. So kind of watch for a rejection up here or bounce down at 1978. They're the only two areas really. And then we've got the Russell 2000 index. This is the futures. This is the M2K. Not a very good chart. This area is the area to break through. We've got high volume in this area, which you can see where lots of pivots. So tops of candles, bottoms of candles. If we pull back down into that area, you can look for a long. Quite like the long down here. Volume wise, big volume yesterday, but you kind of expected a big moving day. Took out the last 3 days. Break and retest a pre-market high to get back up to here. Potential reject will be at this area 2050, and then we could watch for a trend continuation if we break over the pre-market high. What we could be seeing is a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. Maybe we might see something like that set up. So we could look for a long entry if we pull back down into the pre-market low, and probably works out pretty well if we get down into 1970. Area confluence, tops candles and bottoms candles. So kind of wait for a bounce play down here at 1970. And then YM next, which is the Dow Jones Industrial. Big red day yesterday as well. And the only place to watch for a reject will be this area. Area confluence, volume. So 38,600, 38,600, 38,650 for a rejection. Below all the moving averages. So we'll be looking for, that looks like a good area. For bounce wise, could watch yesterday's low for a double bottom. Or got this big area of confluence. $38 to $30 for a bounce. We've got tops of candles, bottoms of candles. We've got this area where we are coming into yesterday, potential excuse me, confluence area as well. Look at tops of candles here, bottoms of candles over here. And we bounced from it yesterday, broke through, came back up, retested it, broke through. So we've got a couple of bounce areas and a rejection area. It's going to have to be between there and there. So those two areas for potential rejection. We've got high volume. It's all pretty much consistent volume. All this, we've got quite high volume. All the way down to here. So this area is going to be a tough cookie to break long. But if we can crack through that area, we can look for the break and retest to continue the trend up. Probably not today though. Looked at SPX, just watching one area, the 5,000 rejection area, where I'll be taking a short or a rejection on the MES. And then finally Bitcoin is doing pretty decent. Closed over 50,000. And now it's up to 51, coming into 52. I think I had some levels to watch for. Strangely, I don't know why, but all my levels I draw on the last few, like the M2K, MYM, SPX, I've been putting them in every day, and they seem to be gone the next day. Let's put the levels back in again. I thought I was going mad when I did it again yesterday, but I've definitely been putting these levels in. So the levels we've got on watch are, oh look at that, exactly where we went to based on these pivots. 51,700, 58, almost 59,000, pretty much 60,000. That's a psychological number. Let's put it up to 60,000, and then obviously we're coming into all-time highs. Keep an eye on Bitcoin, and then bounce areas. We've got this area here. Perfect area. We look at consolidation before it broke out. That's a nice ascending wedge. It's a good pattern here. Ascending wedge, it's fill in, and then boom, broke out. And it came back and eventually retested it here. And then pushed up. I think that's it really. Let's go back to MES, see if there's any changes. I don't think there has, according to my thumbnails. No, same where we were. So just to recap my levels for today on MES, and I'm going to go. Watching for a break and retest of the pre-market high to continue the trend up. Looking for a bounce at the bottom of this trend line around pre-market lows. So the trend line's at 5,000, psychological number, we've rejected it once. Don't really want to play the second rejection. Could keep an eye on it. Maybe we could keep an eye for a double top, but a break and retest will be the better one, goes with the daily trend. And then we've got a bounce at the bottom of this trend line, and we've got a bounce in this demand zone. They're the main areas I'm watching for. And then I've got a reject area at 50.20, probably through to the top of that candle to 50.30, that area there. But I'll be watching for SPX for the 5,000 level. If we get up to there and we're in this area as well, then I'll be looking to potentially go find a short entry, but only if we get to the 5k level, 5,000 on SPX. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, that's it. Have a good day trading, trade safe, and manage your risk well. And I will be back with my end of day trade recap later. Okay, thank you for watching.